site that might be a little helpful. So this is updogchallenge.com. If you Google Updog, this is the first site it will take you. There's two important websites as a player. This site has some cool info. There's general rules. There's a really nifty Updog podcast, if you like podcasts, that two of the founders, Jack and Dre, do every Tuesday. There's a link for achievements, but I'll walk you through those on the team site. There's a link for UpDiff info and Canadian Nationals. There's a little bit about titling, which we'll talk about when we get to the team site. What's most important, at least what I find most important on this site, is going to be your games rules. So you can go through and click on any of these to get game rules for the levels. This is your disc only, and over here is going to be your agility and disc games, so your crossover games. So let's look at Time Warp, my favorite. So basically, you click on a game. Most of these are going to look the same. You're going to have a PDF you can download. Here's a little download button. There's a print button if you want to print it. Most of the games are getting reformatted so that all of the rule sheets will look very similar. Most of the games came out at different times, and so the rules sheets were kind of based on whatever they were doing at that time. So you have usually your fields at the top, your object of the game, rules. Then there's some achievement info for ups, and then farther down on the page, you also have access to like what the score sheet looks like for the judge. So that's basically, I won't go through all of them, but that's basically how you get to rules for both types of games. There's also info on this site for Bike Club, where you can see the schedule for this year. Well, actually, this is for last year. They'll probably update this eventually, but this is where you find info for Bike Club. Events is kind of nifty if you are having a hard time, like say Evergreen took a break and we weren't playing, God forbid. You can type in Washington and search. It'll probably bring up Washington on the East Coast. No events. So, might be because we're not really hosting any events in Washington in the coming months. But as soon as they get approved by CAT, they hop on this list. So if you're traveling somewhere and you want to play some Updog, this would be a great resource for you. And we can hop onto Teams. So there's two ways to get to the team site. You can Google Updog Teams and it should take you right there. The other easy way to get there is to go to the home page and scroll down to the team site under extras. And this will take you to teams at updogchallenge.com. So this is going to be where you find your team information, like you and your dog, what you've accomplished together. This is also where you go to create a new team. So first you have to join Updog and create a login. I'm not gonna, actually maybe I will. Okay, so you click join Updog. You can either sign in with an existing Google account that you have, it connects pretty seamlessly, or an email account. I'm going to choose email account for this one. So I'm going to use a different email address so it doesn't mess anything up with my current account. So you type in an email, write your name and your birthday. I'm just going to pick a, oh my gosh, faraway birthday. This isn't actually how old I am, but just to make it quick. Okay, so then it's going to ask me for an authentication. You're going to send the link to your email. Wait for a login code. I think that E is supposed to be capitalized. Okay, so now I have a new Updog account, and it's gonna look pretty naked. So what you're gonna do first is you're gonna go to your competitors. So your competitors is the individuals within a team, and everybody who plays Updog has a team. So it's usually like you and your dog, or you and a friend's dog, or you and a friend and either of your dogs. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna create a competitor. So the name of your competitor, so let's say that's me. And I'm gonna make one for myself first. I'm a human, I'm a female, I'm gonna save that. So then, there's a dog named Tiana, that's so funny. I'm gonna change my name. Let's change me to Rip Smile. Okay. So now it's not giving me any problems. It's going to create a competitor lookup code. This is different than your T number. I'm going to save that. So then I'm going to create another competitor, and we're going to say, Duty. He's a canine. He's male. There's no other duties. So dogs have a couple more questions. This is his competitor code, so not for the team. Height at the withers, I think he's 22 inches. Jump height, I want him in 16 inches. You don't get this unless you measure officially. So we're going to save him. So now that you have two team members, a canine and a human, you can go to your teams over here, and you can create a team. So we're going to create a standard team because I don't want to enter another competitor. Sorry, not sorry. If you end up playing pairs or wanting to play pairs, you would just add another competitor that's a human and put their name in there. And then you would click create new pairs. The process is similar. So you're going to go for you and your own dog. You're going to create a new standard team. And you're basically going to go back to add a competitor, add to team. If you were playing pairs, you would do that one more time. You go to add to competitor, get out of here, and then add to team, and then give team a name. So this is the fun part. Rip's mom and Duty. That's our team name. You can also change that, like Ripley's name is Roop. There it is. Dugan's name is just Duget. And this is your team lookup code. So this number right here is super important for when you enter Updog games through, like, for a trial or competition or anything where you want points linked back to online and achievements and such. So that's your T number. I'm going to save that, and now you have an official team. Woohoo! So I'm going to log off of this and log back into my real life one. I actually did Google the first time. So this is my actual team list. You'll see here I've got a couple of guest teams and a couple of lifetime teams. Lifetime is basically you pay membership. I think it's $20 per dog. That's this little activate button. You hit the activate button, you follow the prompts, enter your payment info. And it's one time for life. Let's look at Duty. So you click on your team name and you'll see a bunch of different information pop up. This here is not typical. I have a add-on for Google that is doing this for me. I don't understand it. I don't remember how I did it. If I stumble across it, I'll maybe add an addendum to this, but I literally do not remember where I got this from. But you're gonna see the competitor name and the human name, well, competitor dog name, human dog name. Human competitor name and dog competitor name. You'll see your qualifications for the upcoming year. We'll go through that in a second. The thing that kind of sticks with you forever is your team achievements. So you'll see what years you qualified for UpDiff and what games you qualified for UpDiff in. you'll see, and then this is like by game. So first is your team achievements, and then the first game is Greedy. So Duty qualified for Grady in 2025 and 2024. These things in blue, that's my little extra writer thing. So that's something I'm going to have to follow up on. But this stuff right here, that's on everybody's page. So you'll see your personal best. You'll see your rank out of all the dogs that have played, when you last played, and your cumulative points. Your cumulative points is really important for your ups. So scroll down a little bit farther. All this stuff right here is not stuff that's going to be on your normal website. Again, that's that ad thing I have. But these things will be. So you get ups. Every game has a different amount of cumulative points where they assign ups to. So in Greedy level 1, bronze up is 100. Silver's 200. Gold is 300. Platinum's 500. I think an Obtainium is 1,000. Oh, yeah, it says right there. So there's 5 different ups you can get in each game. And then you have these other little fun achievements. Every game has their own sort of achievement. So like, I got Duty's been Scrooged twice in all of his games. We play very safe. Tightwad is basically you get 1 catch and sweet, which is something we'll probably go over in class. Penny Pincher and Yuppie. So the more points you get, I think there's one more. I don't remember what it's called, but we haven't quite reached there yet with Duder. And so then you keep going 4-way. Let's just look at one more game for 4-way. So you have your cumulative, the last time you played, your rank, personal best, and then again, this is something different. So your achievements are going to look a little different every single game. A single quad, he's got 8 of those. He's had 11 double quad. He's had at least 5 single quad achievements. He's had at least 4 double quad achievements. Actually, and I don't know what the difference is between this uppie and that uppie. I'm not exactly sure. But then again, he has his little cumulative. I think they're working. I think the only game right now that doesn't have, let's see if it's got it in here. I think the only game right now that doesn't have ups is going to be Fireball. And as you can see, if you keep scrolling down here, you'll see your achievements in all the games. They are coming out with achievements, in Fireball, but they haven't done it quite yet. So eventually, Fireball will have these fun little uppies. These little dogs and these achievements are called uppies. And your actual ups, well, I think these are achievements. The dogs on the achievements are called uppies. And then the actual ups are the bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and unobtainium. They're coming out with that for Fireball. So if you've played Fireball in real life and you've gotten points, you'll see all of this data, but you won't see like your ups or your achievements yet. I think they're going to do that sometime this year. If you continue down to the bottom of the page, like you scroll past all the games, you'll see the games that you've played, and they're in order from most recent to oldest. So this fun little attachment shows PBs that Duty's gotten, and like his games, his total points, and his percentile rank. So where did Dugan rank compared to the rest of the dogs that played that weekend? So, and now most clubs will use this percentile rank right here to figure out where you're going to play, at least in our area. So those are that's your achievement page. We can walk real quick through UpDiff qualification. So for 2026, Dugan, I think, qualified for, most of the games except for freestyle. So what you're going to look at, sorry if I scrolled too fast, what you're going to look at is there's a points minimum you have to meet and the points that you've earned basically for every single game. In every game, the points is going to be a little bit different. Like Far Out, it's way easier to get a lot of points pretty quickly. So the point amount is going to be higher. for a game like Boom, that game's really hard to get points, so it's going to be a little bit lower. And you'll have this cute little green thing that says your team meets the points required. And so then it'll show up on both your average rankings and your cumulative rankings. Cumulative rankings is how many points you've earned throughout the entire year. So and how you compare to everyone else who's been playing. So for your own team, you are going to see, like for Boom, Duty's 36th. Far Out, he's 205th. Fireball, he's 127th. And that's because there are 35 more people that have scored higher than him in Boom, or have accrued more points over the year in Boom than he has. Same for all these other games. So this is handy because if your rank is 15 or higher, you get an invite to UpDiff automatically. And it's the same for average. Well, at least for this year. They might change the rules next year. But as of right now, and for the past couple years, you really want to be top 15 if you're looking for an UpDiff invite. So the next kind of opportunity is average rankings. So in average ranking, you have, this is like the average of your best 3 scores in that year. So in 2025, qualifying for UpDiff that's happening in 2026. Did I say that right? I think so. Duty's average is 27.67 for Boom. And that put him in 69th. So there's 68 people that had an average score higher, or teams that had an average score higher than Dugan. And so that's basically how to read this information. It's really fun because you can also filter it by game, and you can kind of see like who, and how you do is you pick that game, you unclick only show current team, and then you hit filter, and it'll show you like who's in first, who's second, so on and so forth. So it's kind of fun to keep an eye on. You can keep track of where your friends are at, how well they're doing, and that's kind of the gist for that. If you really want to get curious, you can go into the games themselves and go into like a leaderboard. Let's do, I don't know, let's pick one. Oh, let's do time warp. I did time warp earlier. Let's do 4-way. So you can either go into the cumulative points leaderboard or the percentile ranks. You can also do level 2. Let's do percentile ranks for 4-way. So you can see how many rounds people have had with 61 points. And so there's only one person who's ever gotten 61 points. And there's only one person who's ever gotten 59 points. So on and so forth. And you can also look at cumulative. And this will actually show you who done it. So you'll see their best round, how many total rounds they've ever done, and their average, and that's all of their rounds. So lots of cool information, lots of data points. Updog is really great in how it helps people celebrate their dogs and their achievements, big and small. But that's basically the basis of navigating both teams in the regular Updog site. Good luck, and let me know if you have any questions.